Hi everyone and welcome to a weekly reading vlog. It's Saturday today and I'm super excited to be vlogging the course of the next week because there are two readathons happening that I really want to take part in. These readathons are the Fall into Autumn readathon, which is being hosted by Kira, Em and Meg, and also the Dark Academics Halloween readathon that is being hosted by the Dark Academics Book Club. So the Fall into Autumn readathon is the one that's going on from now. It actually started last night, but I didn't really do that much last night. I read a few pages of the book that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but other than that I just watched Gogglebox and went to bed, so I thought I would start the vlog today. And this one is going to be running until tomorrow evening, and then the Dark Academics readathon is going on all of this week and all of next week as well, right up until Halloween. So I'm going to be covering both of them in this vlog, and hopefully it's going to be super autumnal and cozy. So anyway, as I mentioned, the first readathon that I'm going to be taking part in over this weekend, so today and tomorrow, is the Fall into Autumn readathon, and the whole point of this readathon is just to have a really cozy autumn weekend and just get into the autumn spirit, which I feel like is exactly what I need to do right now. I love autumn, it's my absolute favourite season, and I feel like I haven't done enough just embracing it yet, so that's what I'm really aiming to do. So there are 5 prompts for this readathon. 2 of them are bookish, so I'll cover those ones first and then I'll just quickly go over the other 3. I think I will probably only read 1 book, but I'll tell you both of the prompts anyway. So the 2 bookish prompts are: life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall, read a book with an autumnal cover, and spooky or cozy, read a book which represents your autumn aesthetic. So the book that I'm actually going to be focusing on throughout the course of this weekend, and what I would really like to finish this weekend, is this, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm reading this in anticipation for the Netflix film, which is coming out on Wednesday. I'm so excited to watch it. I think I'll probably watch it with my mum on Thursday evening, and I really want to get this done before then. I've actually been reading this for the past week or so, but I just haven't really been reading that much at all. So I'm only up to page 88. I read about 10 pages last night before I went to bed. But yeah, I only got that far, so I'm really hoping that I can read the rest of it over the course of this weekend. I'm really enjoying my reread of it so far, and I'm actually annotating it as I go. I'm just underlining things that I find interesting or writing little notes. I don't always do this with books, in fact I very rarely do it, but sometimes when it's a book that I've read before and I loved, I like to go in and annotate it on my second or any subsequent reads with anything that I think is just particularly poignant or something that I want to remember, any quotes that I like, and I'm really enjoying that experience so far. The first time I read this was for university, and it was my favourite book that I read for my course, but I don't think I realised like how much I loved it. I knew that I'd enjoyed the themes and analysing that sort of stuff, but I didn't remember how in-depth the writing gets and how beautiful that aspect of the story can be. I feel like the descriptions of some of the things, like I've just got to where the main character gets to Manderley, the big house that features in this book, and the descriptions of Manderley I found really captivating. And I actually saw Kira mention this in her recent vlog. In the first part, one thing that really stood out to me was the descriptions of food, and it just all sounded so good and it all just went into so much detail, and it actually really reminded me of In the Bell Jar, where Esther's describing the caviar. That was a comparison that I made when I was rereading this. So I'm really enjoying rediscovering this book and looking at it through that aspect. I think I can take my time over it a bit more and delve into the writing a bit more than what I perhaps did the first time, because I probably went into it with a bit of a negative attitude first time round because I was reading it for uni. The prompt that I think it particularly fits is the My Autumn Aesthetic one, because I actually think this book is a perfect blend of cozy and spooky. It's the sort of book that I really find myself wanting to like snuggle up with, but also at the same time it's got a lot of spooky elements of the gothic. Obviously Manderley is very mysterious and you don't entirely know what's going on there, so I think it blends both of those things. And in terms of an autumn cover, I mean, I guess it's orange, which is autumnal, like it doesn't scream autumn to me, so that's what I'm reading. As for the other prompts, the next one is Candles, Crumbles and Cocoa, do something cozy that brings you joy. For this I will probably be doing some stitching. So I've actually got 2 cross stitch kits here because I subscribed to a service where you get sent like 1 pattern every month with this company called the Geeky Stitching Company. So I'll just show you the ones that I'm working on, because I've got last month's that I'm behind on, which I think, as you can see, I'm like halfway through sewing a ghost, and this is what it's meant to turn into. If I can actually find the pattern, it's this Halloweeny pattern. It says Hey Boo. So I kind of need to get that done because I feel like by the time I finished it, the spooky season is going to be over, but I guess I'll have it round for next year. And then the one that arrived today is the October box, which is autumn theme. Autumn leaves and toadstools, please. So I'm looking forward to stitching that as well, but that one is like massive, like it's literally the size of my head. So ideally I'd like to finish the Halloweeny one, if not over the course of this weekend, at least over the course of this week. But another sort of stitchy thing that I've been doing is trying to make my own bookmarks. So I actually started this the other day, and I have made one. It didn't turn out the best that I think it could have, but I will show you. It was inspired by Rebecca. So this is it. This is the R on the front. On the back I included the opening quote, "Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again." Now, it's not my best work. I definitely made the mistake of cutting out the material before I did the stitching. So this bit here got like really bunched up and messy, and then because of that it wasn't like even when I sewed the two sides together. So then I tried to cut it to make it neater, and that definitely just made it worse. Then I tried to fray the edges to even it up a bit in that way, and I just, in the end, I just gave up with it. So it is a bit of a mess, but I've definitely learnt from my mistakes, and I know now to sew onto it before I cut it out. So I would really like to try and make another bookmark over the course of this weekend or the next week as well. So yeah, that's the cozy thing that brings me joy. The other one is Pixar It Didn't Happen. Take an autumnal photo and share it on social media using the hashtag Fall Into Autumn Readathon. I'm sure I'll be going somewhere for a walk or to a town or something where I can take an autumn picture. That shouldn't be too difficult. And then the last prompt is pumpkin spice and all things nice. Make your favourite autumnal drink. I'll probably end up just making like a hot chocolate or something. So those were the prompts. That's my plans for the weekend. As I say, I'm planning on running this vlog for the entirety of the week. So probably on Monday I will catch up again and do a little TBR for the Dark Academics readathon. I will get on with some reading now and update you on the rest of the weekend as and when it happens. I hope you're all having a great day / weekend as well. So it's now Sunday, as you'll have seen from some of the little clips that I put in. I went on a really nice autumnal walk yesterday, and then in the evening I just chilled out, lit a candle, watched some telly, did a little bit of reading as well, but I also actually edited a video. Aside from that, I did manage to get a little bit of Rebecca read yesterday. Not as much as I would have liked, but I'm now up to page 168, so I think that means that I've read 100 pages over the course of yesterday. As I think I sort of hinted at yesterday, now that I know the plot from the first time that I read it and almost what to look out for, I've been really able to delve into it a lot more and analyse little details. I've been particularly interested in looking at the ways in which the idea of Rebecca and her haunting presence is sort of conjured up even without her physically being there for the unnamed protagonist to see. Just things like her finding items that used to be Rebecca's, and her also still abiding by these rules and this structure that Rebecca set out. I'm not as far through it as I hoped to be. I did hope that I would probably be about halfway through it by now, because I did really want to finish it over this weekend. I've got like over 200 pages left. I am reading it quite slowly when I do sit down and read it. I think because I am being a bit more analytical about it and because I really want to read every word and just savor it all. So we'll see. If I don't finish it today, I'm pretty positive that I will finish it by the time the film comes out on Wednesday. So I've only read a couple more chapters, but I just wanted to quickly mention something because I found it quite interesting, and that's the way in which the narrator is so like naive, I guess. There's a real naivety about her. It's also kind of infuriating at times because she seems to be aware that people are lying to her and there's things going on, and it's almost like she's pieced bits of it together in her head, but she doesn't ever question anyone or stand up to them or ask them like what's going on. Sometimes when I'm reading, I just want to like scream at her and be like, just ask them this question, or just do this, just do this. And I guess that first of all plays into like the sense of her real naivety and the sense of her age. Then I guess paired with that, you've got this sense that she is writing this looking back. So did she really know that people were lying to her, or is it just like her now saying that in hindsight? I find that really interesting because it plays into the idea of an unreliable narrator, which obviously adds to the whole sense of mystery and intrigue that is already found in Manderley and in the book as a whole. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to carry on reading some more now. So I just ticked off the making a hot drink prompt by making myself a really nice spiced tea. I haven't had these tea bags for ages. I always forget that we've got them, but I do prefer them to a normal tea bag in the autumn winter sort of time. To be honest, my favourite autumn drink is probably a chai latte or some sort of flavoured hot chocolate, but I was sort of working with limited materials at my parents' house, so that's my favourite of what we've got. And we also just cut a piece of this cake. It's just a fruit cake. Fruit cake, I like it. It's not like my favourite cake ever. That would probably be a carrot cake, but I do like this. This has got raisins and glacé cherries in, and yeah, I'm looking forward to having this now. So I'll just try it. That's really nice. Yeah, I've come up to this other room in my house. I'm just gonna sit and do a bit more reading while my parents watch some telly. We've just got back from a really long walk. It was actually really nice. I actually bumped into one of my old friends from school. It was really nice to catch up with her, and now I'm going to read some more of Rebecca. So it's Monday now. I've just been filming a main video, which is why I've got my bookshelves behind me here. I just thought I would leave the camera sort of where it was and talk quickly about my reading progress and some other little things. So Rebecca, I've got here next to me. I am up to page 260 now, so I've read like another 100 pages. Didn't manage to finish it yesterday, but I'm not too bothered, and as I think I said before, I'm pretty confident I will manage to finish this before I watch the film with my mum on Thursday. So the bit that I've just got to, I think a lot of the plot is going to be happening now. I think the pace is really going to be picking up, and there are going to be way more twists and turns. So for anyone that has read it, I've just read the bit with the fancy dress party. The end of that chapter with the party, I was just like, even though I've read it before, I'd forgotten, honestly, what happened there. And I feel like I've forgotten a lot of the plot. Half the characters in this I had no recollection of. So that's almost like reading it again for the first time, which is actually really nice. So yeah, there's been a lot of things that I've been sort of noting down as I've been going. Obviously identity, as I think I've sort of discussed before, is like a really big theme. One thing that I've sort of been paying attention to that I think could be interesting is like the way that first names are used, or names in general, particularly for the female characters. I find it quite interesting how you can sort of determine their status, or like find something out about the women in the book depending on how they're referred to. So you've got like the lower class servants who are always referred to by their first name only, such as Clarice, and I think there's a woman called Alice. And then you've got Maxim's sister, whose name, literally I've been reading this book today and I've forgotten her name. Oh, Beatrice. She's sometimes referred to as Beatrice and sometimes referred to as Mrs. whatever her surname is. I can't remember that. But that's interesting because she sort of is a character who sort of goes a little bit against traditions and a little bit against societal expectations. She's described by the narrator as being very masculine. She says things like, I don't send out invitations, it's a waste of time, I expect people to like come to my house as and when. So I see the way that her names are used as sort of showing that she's like doesn't abide by all these rules and regulations that are expected in society. And then you've got Mrs. Danvers, who is called Mrs. Danvers a lot, but you also find out that she's known as Danny to some, and I find it interesting that obviously Danny is a traditionally male name, so there's that masculine sort of powerful association with her. And obviously as the novel goes on, you're learning like the different powers that she has. You've got Rebecca, who is known as Rebecca and Mrs. De Winter, like sort of equal amounts, I would say. And I think that that sort of maybe suggests, like, is duality the right word? The sort of breadth, I guess, of her character and how she can be all these different things to different people. Like, everyone loves Rebecca, she's everything to everyone. And then you've got the narrator, who is known as Mrs. De Winter or my wife. You never know her first name, which obviously there's a lot to be said about identity there. But even Mrs. De Winter, it's not a name that she identifies with herself, at least not right at the start of the book. Also, I wanted to talk quickly now about the Dark Academics Halloween-a-thon, because that is the second readathon that I'm going to be taking part in throughout the course of this vlog, and also next week. Hopefully I'll be doing a weekly vlog next week as well, throughout that week as well, because it goes on until Halloween. So I've got 3 books that I want to focus on throughout the course of the next 2 weeks. I probably won't manage to finish this because one of the books is quite long, but if I do, that's great. But I'll just talk about the books and then go through the prompts because they sort of all fit, almost all of them. So we've got We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, which is actually one of the group books for the Dark Academics this month. I'm not going to be reading the other group book, The Phantom of the Opera, I don't think, unless I somehow manage to get through everything else and then I can order it, just because it's not something that really appeals to me, and I am happy having just read one of the books. I'll still be able to join in on the live show and listen to this section of it. This is quite a short book. I don't really know anything about it, to be honest, except I think there's like a house and there's 2 sisters, and I think it's going to be creepy. I'm also going to be finishing Rebecca, and then the third book that I want to hopefully get to, maybe, is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I'm gonna see, I might change my mind on this one, to be honest, after I've read the other 2. But this is like a sensationalist story. It's told in the epistolary form, so all through letters, which I've only read a book formatted like that once when I read The Colour Purple, but I really liked it. I think this book, again, I don't know very much about it. I know it's a little bit of a horror, it's a bit of a mystery. I think there's some sort of haunting elements to it, but I'm not actually sure if there's any like actual ghosts or anything like that. I'll go through the prompts quickly because then I can explain how those books all fit into them. So the first prompt, read a gothic novel. To be honest, I think all of them could more or less fit. I know that The Woman in White is classed, I think, as like sensationalist, but that sort of came out of the gothic genre. Rebecca has a lot of gothic elements to it, and We've Always Lived in the Castle, I think, is gothic, just full stop, I think. Don't quote me on that though. Watch a spooky book to movie adaptation. I'm going to be watching Rebecca, but aside from that, I would really like to start The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. Read by Candlelight is one that I can do for any book. Trick or Treat, Make Yourself Something Sweet. I do have a plan for that. Read our group books. As I said, I'm just going to be reading the one. Dress up for our live show. I'm hoping I can make the live show. It's on Halloween. I don't know if I'll dress up because I don't have like many clothes here, and those that I do have, I don't have any Halloween costumes that spring to mind, but we'll see. I might do something very low-key. read a book with a supernatural theme. I think We've Always Lived in the Castle counts for this. Possibly The Woman in White, although as I said, I don't actually think there's any ghosts in it. I'm not sure. I think it might just be like suspense and a haunting atmosphere, but I guess that sort of counts for supernatural as well, maybe. Do a Halloween activity. I'm not sure about this one yet. I don't normally do a lot of stuff for Halloween, to be honest. And then read a book with a dark cover. Rebecca is the one from my pile that will meet that criteria. So yes, I've waffled on a bit there, but that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'll update again today. I haven't really got very many exciting plans. I went for a run this morning. I think I'm going to go for a walk in a bit. I'm going to do Pilates. Hopefully around all of that I'll have some time to actually read Rebecca. The next update may well be when I finish Rebecca, or when I'm doing something exciting enough to vlog. We'll see. It is now Thursday. I think the last time I actually spoke on the camera was Monday, and I haven't really shown anything of the past couple of days because I really haven't had that much going on. I will have included a little montage of me doing some Halloween baking, which I actually did on Tuesday. That was really fun. I made some chocolate cupcakes that actually have a raspberry jam centre. I'm pretty sure this was like an OG British squad YouTube era recipe from someone like Zoella that I've just written down and had for years, but it seems to be one that gets pulled out every Halloween autumn sort of season. Other than that, the reason that I've turned the camera on to do a little bit of an update today is because first of all, I finished a book, and obviously that book is the book that I've been reading through the course of the vlog, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I finished this last night. I put on a couple of read with me's. I watched Shannon's from 155 Books, which was really nice, and I watched one from Mary Among Stories, and I managed to get this book finished just before midnight, so finished it last night. And I just love this book so much, as I've been saying all the way through the vlog, so I won't go on about it too much, but it's just been a real joy to reread. I looked at my dates that I read it for the first time, and it actually took me a very long time. I read it over the course of a few months, which I can't remember doing, so it was really nice to sit down and read this over the course of just 1 week and just feel so invested in this story. I found it quite funny though, because I was literally convinced that the plot twist in this book was going to be something, and then it was something different, and I was like, what? I was just so confused because I've read this book before. I'm pretty sure I wrote essays on it when I was at uni, and I've seen it on stage as well, all around the same time period, so all 4 to 5 years ago. But still, I was like, how could I have got the ending of this book so wrong? And now I'm just thinking about all the other books that I've read like a few years ago and thinking, I wonder how many of them I am remembering completely differently to what they actually were, and how many of them, if I read again a second or third or whatever time, I would be surprised by. Because honestly, it was like reading it for the first time over again for that aspect, because I was just as shocked, mainly because of how shocking my memory is. And all being well, my mum and I will be watching the new Netflix adaptation tonight, so I will update on that as well. And I'm so glad that I've read this before going into that, so I can see how the two compare. So that means that I'm now ready to pick up a new book. I didn't actually read any yesterday. I marked it as like starting it on Goodreads, but I haven't actually read any of it yet. But that book is We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. As I talked about earlier in the vlog, I am reading this for the Halloween-a-thon, and it's really short. I'm really hoping actually that I can get through this all today. That might be a bit optimistic because I've been thinking about The Woman in White and wanting to tackle it, and my plan is to start that on Saturday, and then I will have the whole week leading up to Halloween to hopefully finish it and set myself like a goal of like 100 pages a day. That might be a bit much, or something along those lines, to get it done. So that means that I've got today and tomorrow to focus on other things. But I also just wanted to include a little parcel that came today because I really want to show you what I have received. So I actually put another order in on my friend Sabine from Sabine's Book Nooks Etsy shop because she'd brought out some new products and I just fell in love with them, and I really wanted to purchase them and support her and get these really cute items. So I thought I would quickly show you because they came in the post about an hour ago. I couldn't wait to open it, so I've done that, but I will show you them now. So the first thing I saw when I opened the package was her cute little business card, and she wrote me a little note on the back which was really cute, so thank you so much, Sabine. I will definitely keep hold of that. And then I ordered 2 items. So the first thing that I ordered was this bookmark, but it says Badass Book Babe on it, and it's just this really cute illustration, and I just love the matte black with like the gold foiling detail. It's just so adorable. And then on the back it's like properly matte black with just her socials at the bottom, and I just thought this was so pretty and perfect for this time of year, and also like gives me dark academic vibes. And then the other thing that I ordered was this notepad, which is like a to-do list, and it says let's get shit done at the top of it, and I just knew that I had to have this because I am a to-do list fiend. I make a to-do list like every single day. I love to put things on my to-do list that I've already done. I thought this would come in handy, especially as I'm starting back at work on the 2nd of November after having been on furlough since the 1st of April. I'm definitely going to need to be doing a lot of organising, so I might use this for that, or I might save it for weekends and videos. I don't know. I do a to-do list every day, so this is the perfect thing for me. And also in the package, Sabine included these 2 little cute stickers. So we've got a really cute Halloween pumpkin, and then this cup of tea or coffee, I guess, which is just so cute. I love them both. I think I might put them on my laptop. So that's it for the updates really. I will link Sabine's Etsy in the description if you want to go and check out her stuff. Thank you so much, Sabine, for sending me all this stuff again. You're great. Keep killing it. But yeah, I'm gonna go now and get on with the rest of my day, hopefully actually get some reading done.
Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again.
Hey everyone, it's Friday now. The last clip that I put in was when I was just starting to watch Rebecca last night, and I thought I would wait until today to summarise my thoughts because I wanted to sleep on them, think on them a little bit, and to be honest I still don't really know, but I thought I would just share a few of my feelings on it. So as a film in its own right, I did enjoy it. I really liked the aesthetics and the filming of it in general. It was just so pretty. So many of the scenes and the locations I was just like wow, and the house, I loved all of that. As an adaptation, I mean, it wasn't exactly completely faithful to the book. If you've seen it, you'll know that there were a few changes, particularly the ending. There was quite a lot of change, and if I think about the 2 as 2 separate entities, then I'm like happy with that. But I think because I'd literally just finished reading Rebecca while I was watching it, I couldn't help thinking exactly how it was different in different places, if that makes sense. I mean, the main difference between the book and the film is I would say the film felt a lot more rushed, particularly the first half of the film, like leading up to the ball. So in the book, I would say that part of it is very slow paced. It's very much about tension and about atmosphere. And in the film, the atmosphere was sort of created in a different way. So it was less about tension. It was more like anxiety, I guess, and like panic. And I do understand why they put it all together in the film because of time constraints and they can't show everything. But I think in the book, because there's more instances of people referring to Rebecca being brought up and up again, it sort of creates this sense of Rebecca's character in a much more gradual way. The other major differences that I found is the character, the new Mrs. De Winter. I felt like in the film she had a lot more agency. I think I've said in this vlog that there were points in the book where I was just like, what are you doing? You know that people are lying to you. Why aren't you standing up for yourself? Whereas in the film, she actually made some decisions and took actions into her own hands on quite a few occasions, and that felt like very different from the character that I'd read. And then also I felt like Maxim was portrayed as a much nicer character in the film to the book as well. I think the film tried to portray it a bit more as a love story than the book is, because I wouldn't describe the book as being a love story at all. But yeah, other updates. I have been reading We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I didn't actually get as far through it as I wanted to yesterday. Surprise. I feel like my whole life is me saying, oh, I'm going to read this much and then not actually doing it. But I'm on page 55, so I would really love to finish this today. This will be the last day that I vlog for this particular vlog. I'll probably start a new weekly vlog tomorrow. I did just get back from doing a food shop with my mum, and while I was there, I got 2 candles as well. I've got them here. It was a very stressful experience getting candles because I didn't know like whether I was allowed to smell them. I didn't want to like touch them too much, and then obviously you have your mask on, so I was like, am I just gonna look stupid if I try and smell this through the mask? So I took a bit of a punt on a couple of autumnal scented candles, but I've smelt them now properly and they're both really nice. So I got pecan pie bites, and I got crisp campfire apples, both by Yankee Candle. These are like seasonal for autumn, I guess, and I think I will burn one of these while having a read now and for the rest of the evening. Okay, so I just realised that I completely forgot to say whether I was actually enjoying We Have Always Lived in the Castle or not, and I am. I'm really enjoying the writing. I definitely think I know what's going to happen. Like, as soon as I read the blurb, to be honest, I was like, I wonder if this is what's actually gone down here. Like, I don't think it'll ruin it for me because I'm actually just really enjoying the writing style. It's quite different to anything I've ever read before. But yeah, I will update properly when I'm done. But I just thought I would pop on and say that now because I realised that I just said that I was reading it and didn't actually say whether I was liking it or not. So it's Saturday morning and I look messy because I've literally just got out of bed and haven't even brushed my hair yet. I thought I would jump on really quickly because from today I'm going to be starting a new vlog, but I said I would do a final update on We Have Always Lived in the Castle as I was hoping to finish it, and I realised as I was editing the vlog that I hadn't said anything more. So I didn't actually manage to finish it yesterday. Surprise! Is anyone surprised at this point? No. But I did think I could talk about it really quickly now because I got over to page 110, so I'm only about 30 pages away from the end. So I will finish it this morning or later today and include my full thoughts in next week's vlog and also my wrap up. But I think I'm probably going to end up giving it 4 stars. The point where I'm at now is just been revealed that what I thought was going to happen has happened, and that wasn't a surprise to me. So I'm not sure if other people who read this who haven't predicted it find that like a really big plot twist and a really like surprise. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be doing or whether it's meant to be clear from the beginning what actually happened. So if you have read this, I would be interested to know if you saw the twist coming or not. That hasn't really affected the reading experience for me though, I don't think, because I was so convinced that it was going to happen. I didn't spend too much of the book thinking about alternative twists, to be honest. This is a very character-driven story. I would say that not a lot happens in it plot-wise, but I've actually really enjoyed that aspect of it, which is very strange because normally I thought I preferred plot-driven books. However, I've really enjoyed like delving into the characters and sort of analysing the way they act and why they do things, especially the main character America. Being in her head is so interesting. She acts a lot younger and sounds a lot younger in the page than what she actually is, and it's been interesting thinking about the reasons why that might be. I don't know what's going to happen in the last 30 pages now because I feel like the big twist has happened. So I guess there's just going to be some sort of resolution. But yes, I would definitely be interested in reading more Shirley Jackson in the future based on this. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else who's read it for the Dark Academics Book Club has to say about it. So yeah, that concludes my weekly reading vlog. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I've had a really fun week filming it. Feel free to leave a little emoji in the comments or let me know if you've read any of the books that I read, so Rebecca and We've Always Lived in the Castle, or if you watched the Rebecca movie. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of the above. I hope you have all had a great week and are having a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye!